Hello, this is Chef John from foodwishes.com with lemon ricotta pancakes. That's right, remember that time you went to make one of your favorite pancake recipes? But you were out of milk, so you had to use water? And somehow, someway, it actually came out better than the original version. Well, that's what happened to me, and it's one of the main reasons I'm sharing this. The other reason is that apparently I said one of my New Year's resolutions was to up our brunch and breakfast game, which totally sounds like something I would say. And now that we've covered the reasons why we're doing this, we can move on to the how we're doing this. So let's get started by adding some cold water to this mixing bowl. And yes, for the first time ever, water is the secret ingredient. Which reminds me, use milk if you want, but I really did prefer this. And then to that, we're going to whisk in a little bit of baking soda. No, not baking powder. That's going to be in our self-rising flour. We're going to add some baking soda, which of course is going to react with our acidic ingredients, producing hopefully lots of bubbles. So we'll stir in some baking soda, followed by our ricotta cheese. And please use the full fat kind. I don't like cheese made with skim milk, nor do I trust it. But anyway, once our cheese is in, we'll continue on with a whole bunch of freshly grated lemon zest. And even though we're going to add a little bit of the fresh juice later, this is where most of that lemon flavor is going to come from. We will also at this point add a little bit of vegetable oil, as well as a little touch of vanilla extract. And please keep it real. Use the pure extract. We will also go ahead and toss in a spoon of sugar, which, as the TV chefs like to say, is going to add a little bit of sweetness. And then we will finish this portion of the program by throwing in one large egg. And we'll go ahead and grab a whisk and mix this till smooth, which will require a combination of breaking up the cheese while stirring. And this is one of those steps that halfway through it looks like you did something wrong. But you didn't. Just keep stirring. And after a minute or two, everything should smooth out. And hopefully your mixture looks something like this. And then once that's been accomplished, we'll go ahead and finish this off with our last three ingredients, which are some melted butter, some freshly squeezed lemon juice, and last but not least, our self-rising flour. And by the way, as usual, if you don't have access to self-rising flour, I'm going to tell you how you can make your own, since it's just regular flour with baking powder and salt in it. But anyway, we'll add the last of our ingredients and give it a mix. And as usual with most batters, we're only going to stir until the flour just about disappears. Okay, we do not want to overmix this. So we will simply stir until about 97% of that flour disappears, which is just about where mine is now. And that's it, our lemon ricotta pancake batter is done, but not ready to use yet. What we want to do is let this sit on the countertop for about 15 minutes to give our ingredients a little bit of time to react to each other. Plus, as it sits, that batter is going to thicken up a little bit. So I let my batter rest for about 15 minutes. And as predicted, bubbles formed, and our mixture tightened up a little, which means we could grab some kind of portioning tool, like this ice cream scoop, and head to the stove, where I like to cook these over medium-high heat in a lightly greased cast iron skillet or griddle. And these are roughly going to take about 2 to 3 minutes per side. But we don't go by time. We go by appearance, which is way more accurate. And as the Michael Jacksons of our chemical reactions, we understand that when you combine alkaline and acidic ingredients, bubbles form. And when those bubbles are heated, they expand, which is what makes pancakes rise. And speaking of the king of pop, when we see those bubbles popping up through the surface, and the edges of our pancakes start to look dry, that means they're ready to flip. And if everything's gone according to plan, your pancakes should rise nicely. And as this low angle helps illustrate, mine did. So we'll go ahead and let that second side cook for a couple minutes before removing these to a plate. And of course, we're always going to save the best looking pancake for the top. I mean, come on, what kind of crazy person is going to put the least attractive one on the top? And then speaking of the top, let's go ahead and finish these off with a little bit of butter, as well as possibly a little bit of lemon zest. And then last but not least, I'm going to finish up with a drizzling of maple syrup, which I believe many of you pronounce maple syrup. But whatever. I'm not paid by the syllable. So I prefer syrup. And that's it. My new and improved lemon ricotta pancakes are done. And quite lovely if I do say so myself. The texture is very close to your classic diner-style pancake, although thanks to the cheese, they're even more tender and moist. And then as far as the taste goes, we have that beautiful brightness from the fresh lemon. And when we combine that with our ricotta and that little bit of sweetness, we actually get a very, very subtle cheesecake-like effect. So I really do love how these come out. Oh, and one last thing. I pretty much put maple syrup on any kind of pancake. But with this particular version, which features the fresh cheese and the lemon, a fruit-based sauce is actually more traditional. Raspberry, blueberry, blackberry, boysenberry, elderberry. You name a berry sauce, and it would be good on this. But anyway, that's it. My little twist on lemon ricotta pancakes. So whether you're looking for something new and exciting for your next fancy brunch, or you're just going to make these on some random weeknight, when you want to do breakfast for dinner, which everybody loves. I really do hope you give these a try soon. So head over to foodwishes.com for all the ingredient amounts and more info as usual. And as always, enjoy.